Hey everybody, Chamia here with the Just Chamia Show, here with the lovely and super talented Marilyn Jones. Hey girl.
Thank you.
One of the things throughout the book, there were hints and glimpses in there. You always had a curiosity to learn more. Knowledge and figure things out for yourself.
Somebody else said that. I didn't even see
you
that.
You said that. You wrote it.
Oh, go to school? You go to school,
so
like no classes?
To say that and to better yourself. So I see that throughout the book and throughout your life. Tell me about Mr. Langdon, the English teacher. Yeah.
I was talking about him. He was so. He was still. I don't think I kept going to college.
So you met him in junior college when you were about to get your associate's degree, your English.
That's the most important degree I got too, by the way.
She has 3, by the way.
Yeah.
AA, bachelor's, and her master's in adult education, right? Boom. Okay. All right. So Mr. Langdon.
He's my first class. I took I was working for UCSF with the doctors, and that was a different experience. Because my coworkers were highly educated, never had that before. So they were always saying like, you need to go to college, you need to go to college. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But then one thing that convinced me one day is that I noticed that they always come in the room asking me questions. That's what clicked. I said, if they needed my opinion, maybe I should. I'm gonna go try. So I got this guy named Mr. Langdon. He's like a gay white guy, and at the time I went to college, I didn't know slang from
proper English.
From proper English.
Yeah.
And it wasn't I was dumb. That's why a lot of people will judge you by that. You talk like the people that talk around you. That doesn't mean you're not intelligent. So I didn't know. Now normally you get dinged for not knowing. He said, now Marilyn, look, I really enjoy the black experience. He said, but you can't use slang when you go to these other things. But had he not been like that, and said he enjoyed the black experience, he wanted to hear more and more. I wouldn't
because that's what you were writing about. You were writing about in your English
what was
class.
going on with me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything but the projects at the time.
Yeah.
And prison.
Yeah.
And slang. So he was like, this is slang, this is slang. But another thing about him, he pulled me outside and told me I was brilliant. Now how many people, and I ended up getting the best grades.
Yeah.
In the school. So it's not even the point of the people, all the people overlooking at me as far as what's wrong, but what's right, that's what they overlook.
Yeah.
Because I'm summa cum laude, even from San Francisco State with straight A's.
Yeah.
So where did we get somewhere that got buried and nobody tried to look at it? And I think people do that a lot. They assume because you get in trouble that you're not smart.
They look at the cover but don't bother to read the pages
right
in the book. Yeah.
What's going on.
Yeah.
So he saw something in me.
Yeah.
And I continued. I'm still his friend. He even edited. He edited, but more so he kept asking questions because he knows he want to know everything. I like this. What? Tell me more. Yeah. So that's how I ended up panning it out more. Yeah. Because it wasn't that finished, but he read it and asked me a whole bunch of questions.
Wow. Like, look what a teacher can do.
Yeah, he did. He brought me back.
Pay our educators more. Hashtag. Okay. Why do you feel, or do you feel it's important to get an education?
Well, who gonna hire us if we don't hire us? That's why I feel it's important. And then because let me tell you, education is not all the time. You're gonna have to because I want to make a I'm getting a program. I'll tell you about it later. But why is it important to get an education? Well, because you can get to different tables with it. You know that lot. Okay. I'm sitting. Why is it important to get an education? Because what my education did for me is it's discipline. First of all, I learned how to invest in myself, and I did. It's weird. I kind of did the time, kind of like because I know how to go to prison. I know how to sit, so I applied that to sitting in class. I just go sit there. You know what I'm saying? But this time I'm sitting for me. Yeah. So I changed the dynamic. I did it like I was doing time though. Yeah. I just sat there. But that's 9 times 10 the most hardest thing to do is to get there. So if I get there and I sit, I'm there. I just sit there. And I'm doing it for me. And I don't have all my kids are graduates. We don't have any conversations about nobody not graduating. Yeah. It's not even thought of.
That's not an option.
No,
not an option.
Because I did it.
Yeah.
So we can't, and then the kids, and I feel like somebody got to show other people that you can change and do different things. It's like a testimony.
Yeah.
for others to see, because I'm like was really, really tore up.
Yeah.
So then me getting education, it's like dope dealers and all kind of people come to me and talk about college that they would normally not talk to somebody about, you know?
Right.
So for me, that helped other people in my community feel like they could do it.
Right. I want to.
And it made me a critical thinker. I don't believe half the shit. Half the stuff they said. I learned a lot of stuff that I don't believe.
Right. And I want to talk about that. You just said two critical things. One is I did it, and I want people to understand all the character building that you had to go through in your life. And I'm using that in the biblical sense of the adversity and the tribulations that we go through, which build and strengthen our character when we overcome. So you went from not necessarily having your mother around, and that's something a lot of young people say. My daddy wasn't there, my mom wasn't there. You didn't have your birth mother around. You had a transition from living in one environment in one city to moving to another environment in another city. You went through you survived living in an abusive household. You survived going through the juvenile justice system. You survived how many year crack addiction? 20-something year crack addiction. You survived losing your children, getting them back, losing your children. You survived fighting so many people. So many people.
I wanted to exit.
Okay.
I gotta say something about the fights.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna include them fights.
Okay.
But one of my friends said, where's the fights?
Because that's you, huh?
Right. She said that book is phony, girl. It's not the truth. I said, okay, I'm gonna have to go back.
Yeah.
Because I had me looking like a victim.
Yeah.
At first, and I said, okay, I wouldn't always know. Let me keep it real. Let me go back and go, and then it turned funnier too.
Yeah.
When I added, because I was so worried about. Well, basically, it was a venting section.
Yeah.
But then when I started worrying about if other people's gonna read it, and then when my friend told me, who I know from prison, said that this is phony.
Yeah.
I said, let me go back and I said, it's going to be mad.
Yeah.
You know, I said, some people, because I was worried about it.
And it was funny, and it's like, if you hadn't seen her and you read this book, I could picture you, without even having met you in person yet, I pictured you, this little itty bitty juggernaut, firecracker, dusting up the hood with everybody. But all that's to say, you went through all of these character building situations, and you still said, this is for me, and I'm going to do this for myself. 3 times, with my associate's degree, with my bachelor's degree, with my master's degree. I'm doing this for me. I'm going to keep on and persevere in spite of all the things that I've done, in spite of all the things that others have done to me, in spite of my circumstance, and in spite of the things that are being told to me about myself and my people, that you said about like the things you were learning in school. That's very powerful, and I think that
I want to say that the master's degree, I want to give credit. I didn't put that in the book because people would have been mad at me, but I was pregnant.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, and all that stuff was happening. I didn't want to deal with it then, but I was pregnant. So actually, the master's degree, I can get that to that last pregnancy. Because a lot of people will get pregnant and say, oh God. And I'm saying, oh, I got to go get some more. That was my reason to go back. Yeah. My last son. So I went and got the master's degree because I figured I needed it. It's one more kid, I didn't know I was going to have a little minor now. He's 6.
Yeah.
So I went and got it.
And she's 25.
Gosh. I survived being pregnant at 44, okay? That was that damn near killed me. Yeah. So.
And you've persevered. Let me ask you this question. What are one or some of the biggest misunderstandings or unknown facts about what you call crackheads? Not sugarcoating it. But a lot of people see them and like, oh, it's a crackhead, I'm gonna ignore them, don't give them no money, But what are some of the things you feel are the biggest misunderstandings? I'm asking you this so that people can have a better understanding and maybe have a little compassion.
Well, there's a lot of people that love us. And you mess around, put your hands on them, you might come up short. Right. People find that out.
So you walk over, but you gonna limp back.
So you gotta be careful. Yeah. Because we're people's moms and dads. Yeah. And there's a lot of people that really love us. Yeah. And we bring a lot of wisdom, and you would be surprised how much information and advice I have gotten from full-blown dope things. Not to be funny. So we're not just counted out. It's just people that have an issue. Yeah. And you can sometimes it's more helpful just to treat person nice than to be doing all that talking about go to a program and do all this and do all that. I remember one of the most like best things anybody ever did for me when I was really strung out was this like, I think he was with the Nation of Islam because he had a bow tie. I don't know. But I was out there prostituting, and he walked up there and said, "You are a beautiful black woman. I mean, I'm ripped." That stayed with me all day long. You know, so people think that they saying things, you need to go get help, you need to do this. You don't need to do that. People already know what they need. You know, and there's other people, you know, we have, and people assume that nobody's saying anything to us.
Yeah.
We get messages all over. God be loving us all. God left crackheads too. That's the message I want to say. And probably give us more breaks. Yeah. Because they know we're a little bit, what's that, babies and fools?
Yeah, yeah.
So he kind of get breaks. I got to try to tell my son, because it's funny, he's selling crack. I said, look, don't you think you're going to get all these breaks I'm getting? You know, because this is a whole nother thing. Now, I'm a victim kind of to a certain degree. You're doing it. I'm not sure you're going to live as long as me. Yeah. With this, you know, you have to be careful.
Yeah. But
they think we're dumb.
Yeah.
How about that? We're not dumb.
Yeah.
Or don't know what's going on, or can't, you know, and think that we need others to figure out what to do for us and all that stuff.
You're human beings.
We're human beings.
God loves you.
Who were targeted with poison on purpose, and nobody ever went to jail. Yeah. Except for us.
Let me ask you this question. Do people who are on crack want to be on crack?
For that day? Yeah. What you mean?
Yeah.
They didn't want to, they wouldn't be that day.
But I'm just saying, who wants to be an addict? Have you ever met somebody who wasn't addicted who wanted to get addicted?
No. I never heard anybody wanted to be. But for that day, you're on. Yeah. I mean, you don't, it's not even, you know, an option if you're on it. Yeah. I don't think nobody want to grow up and be an addict. No, I hope not. I'm sure there might be somebody else.
Some fool. Yeah. Babies and fools, right? So let me ask you this, because something in my experience of you and in the book too that you talked about was the black community and the black experience. Can you describe, from your point of view and your experience and having lived it and witnessed it, the black community before crack, the black community during crack, and the black community today? You know,
my community was like, it's like drastic though. Yeah. The way it happened. 'Cause I'm from San Francisco. Yeah. So it was a whole all black owned. Beautiful. The Victoria, they like $1 million homes now, but the Victorians, all the businesses, this is before crack. Pre-crack era. Yeah. It was black owned, and then everything just went to haywire. Yeah. Before crack, after crack. And then all the guns. First of all, we got a gun epidemic. They dropping the guns off like they dropped the crack off. If you don't see it, I don't know. They're not even looking for the people dropping them off. You notice that? Right. Because somebody is on purpose. There were not that many guns started and it's not even about gun control. These are illegal guns that they are dropping off in our neighborhoods. Right. So that's when, and I think that we should start trying to figure out where stuff is coming from sometime. Right. Because you know we are not.
That's how you fight the war, not the addicts, but the suppliers.
Go find out where it's coming, or them guns. We don't make them either. Yeah. And I don't know if you know it, but it's abundance of them now. Yeah. And anytime there's abundance of something in the black community, it's because we're being targeted. It's a marketing strategy. Right. Right? So.
Okay. Where are you with your addiction today?
I don't smoke crack.
Well, there it is.
I still got issues. I still,
I have issues too. I think everybody does. I haven't met anybody who doesn't.
Maybe a little bit
and
more.
And those who don't think they have any issues are probably the ones with the biggest ones, right?
I mean,
we all have issues. Yeah.
Yeah. That's just like play. I guess it's old. I can't imagine it. That's just too much. Now, I never say nothing though. You can't say that. And I hate people say I'm over it. And I might have a dream every now and then. I still have dreams and stuff. It be with me. But one time this guy told me you could dream instead of doing it. It's better to dream it than to do it. Okay. It did take place.
I know a lot of cheaters that say that.
Yeah, it did take place. I got it, but I don't know. I wake up and I'm still, you know. That's a way of not having to do it. Yeah. But because I do it in my dreams often.
What do you want for you? What do you want for Marilyn?
What I want for me? I want to be able to be a person who is seen as somebody. Well, what I'm going to be, ain't what I want. What I need is to leave a legacy of behind for somebody looking out for black people, and not afraid, and not want to say people of color, and not all that watered down stuff. I need to leave something behind because there's things missing when it comes to us. Yeah, I feel.
Yeah. So with that being said, what's next for you? What are you working on?
It's funny. I did you got to go out the box nowadays too. I also want to add, since I got this master's degree, been the hardest to get employed my whole life.
Wow.
It's the poorest I ever been with a master's degree, because they don't expect. So you have to like. They don't expect it to be you, or the rhythm, the blackness in your voice supposed to be gone by now.
Yeah. Okay.
No.
Like are those braids in her
baby,
hair?
all that.
You supposed
All
to
that
be
must be
looking all
gone. You must be-
Beyonce
Yeah,
now.
I can't do it. I don't. I'm not the assimilator. I don't do it well. But
Yeah.
God preserved me for a reason, because I need to be able to go back and go back. So now I know why. A whole lot of stuff is happening. Sometimes we count stuff as bad. It's for the good. Because I asked me, it's so funny. This might sound stupid, but I was gonna get a job for probation department. They didn't give me a job. But then I have my own nonprofit. It's finna crack in a minute. But I asked my son, I said yesterday when I got this good news, somebody gonna give me some money, right? Just out the blue. But I told my son, I said, what would I have been if I worked for that in that probation department? He said, a pilgrim. I said that whole thing would have been a pilgrimage, huh?
Right.
All right. So I'm getting a chance finally. Well, I did a weird thing. I threw a seminar, right? I ain't never threw a seminar before, and because I'm learning. They don't teach you in college how to go get it. Now you can go, and we don't have that naturally. I don't know if it's about you, but. It's something we lack when you're from the projects, as far as imagination. A lot of us, okay, I can go get the degrees, I can go get the A's, but do I know how to go be a boss? No. You don't teach me that. I'm a consumer in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
We buy everything, you know what I'm saying? I know how to buy. I don't know how to really create, and I'm learning, so I'm learning. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna give this little seminar and go name and change the things we can't accept and promote excellence in the lives of criminal justice involved black women. And I'm gonna invite executive directors. Why they showed up? They showed up. It was funny. They showed up. I'm like, okay. So I didn't think.
Yeah.
So they all showed up. That's why you gotta. Sometimes you just gotta fish.
Yeah.
So some lady got invited. That's over a foundation. So she give me a year startup, because I'm gonna start this program. Just Say No with a KNOW.
Okay.
So
We're gonna talk about that. Just Say No. 1 minute. Okay.
But where we at? I don't know.
So you was at the seminar. The woman came, give you a year funding for what you're gonna do. They came. You fished them, and they came. And
when somebody didn't even know, I knew something was gonna happen, because somebody just said do this. Because they was like, let's invite. I said, look, a receptionist can't give me nothing. We're gonna have to get the top people. I don't know why it gotta be top people. That's what I need to see right now.
Yeah, the decision makers. Yeah.
Right, and plus it goes back to dolphin behavior. Either you're gonna see the guy with the big one or the crumbs. So I'll take me to the man.
Yeah.
And it was very exhausting. Because it was so funny, because immediately, this is what I did. It's a code. The icebreaker was cold. But you might want to use it if you're working with powerful people.
Yeah.
So I basically said, okay, I was going to do a bright icebreaker, but I said it was me and my three of us, black women. We all been in prison, but no, I'm all been in prison, but they've been in jail and stuff. And we all have the same experiences with crack and getting educated.
Yeah.
So we kind of like giving our testimony, but we got mostly a room full of elderly, white people, executives that run the program that's supposed to be designed to help us. So what I did was I told them, I said, well, I wasn't doing an icebreaker where you say who you are and what you do for a living. I said, but today I need to look you in the eye, and so and I need to suspend the privileges that you have for the next 6 hours, because if you can keep them privileges, then I'm gonna have to be underneath you.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be able to work. But once I did that, they were no longer nobody.
Wow.
Try it. I said, you can introduce yourself, but by first name only.
Yeah.
So you're no longer the executive and run all this. And once I stripped him like that, I was the most powerful person in the room.
Wow.
So it's a good icebreaker. Yeah. We're not going to introduce you. They had, I hate to say it, but they had brochures and stuff. They thought you were going to make some commercials.
Yeah.
This is not commercial time.
Yeah.
No. Your first name. This is my first name. Everybody, about 30 of us. What's your first name only?
Yeah.
Because, and then people will, we're going to take that title you think you have over me. We're going to strip that right now. And once I did that, I'm starting to tap into my power now. I'm learning.
Yeah.
They don't teach you that kind of stuff in school, or how to tap into. Because I come into the room and I'm the poorest one up in there.
Yeah.
That you named some crimes another name.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. And then plus I grew up in the Black Panther movement and basically taught it was a privilege to be black.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to school and I'm learning about these white privilege, and I can't say I don't agree with what they go with, but I disagree with that word.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna name privilege and lying, cheating, killing, and stealing. That's not privilege. That's just lying, cheating, killing, and stealing.
Yeah.
And getting away with it.
So I'm going to ask you about Just Say No, but I just want to say to the viewers out there that great things come out of the projects. Don't judge a book by the cover. Read the pages. Case in point here coming out of projects in San Francisco. Case in point here coming out of the El Pablo projects in Pittsburgh. Where it is. Both sitting here with master's degrees and bachelors and everything underneath it and overcoming. So there it is. Okay, so tell us about Just Say No, K-N-O-W.
Yeah. Well, Just Say No is like a play on words from the
Just Say No.
Nancy Reagan.
Yeah.
Because that's what she was saying at the time we were strung out.
Yeah.
And at the same time that they were bringing pounds and pounds of stuff and laying it damn near on the ground.
Yeah.
She was saying Just Say No. By that, it was too late.
Yeah.
You know. So it's a play on words. It's paying homage to all the people that we lost.
Yeah. And
it's marking the 30-year anniversary because I'm doing it this summer for crack cocaine because it came to San Francisco in 1985. But I'm starting to. It's weird because the new trend in the criminal justice system is weird because they want to go after high-risk offenders. They say that we give them more bang for their buck. But if you're dealing with an epidemic, you got to look at it differently. You can't just get no high-risk person and interrupt.
Well, we talked about the survey that they're using to determine high risk too, so that's not even accurate.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if you're dealing with an epidemic, right, there's 3 levels of prevention. That's called tertiary, when you're getting the worst off. Yeah. And that's not optimal when you're trying to stop something. So I want, because I was gonna follow their rules. I'm like, okay. And another thing too is nothing's happening now. They're saying a lot of things are evidence based, but if you look at the numbers against us. The evidence shows we're not responding, so it's not even real language. Right. You know, it's just like this lingo they use in trying to make a change, like a scientific thing that they can predict, and they're not even on point with it. Right.
But you're not supposed to read the facts. But continue. Just say no.
But I'm going back to the city, and I want to create a cohort of black women that at risk for incarceration. I'm saying at risk living in the hood. Yeah. With no at risk or formerly incarcerated. Okay. Because what they tend to do is only help you after you've been in jail. Right. So that's not for the sake of the economic stability of the community. Because even incarceration limits whatever you can do for life. Right. Absolutely. Regardless, we're going to have to mix up who we interrupt that cycle with.
So how do you define for your program Just Say No at risk?
Living in the projects. Maybe selling dope. I can't see them. I can spot them. You can go to the corner and see who at risk. Yeah. You know, not that, you know, you can. Yeah. But to me, it's living in a high crime neighborhood. Okay. Living in a high crime neighborhood where there's a lot of temptation and things going on. And it might not be for everybody, but you can. Why does she have to go to jail for help? That's the thing they got going now. A lot of programs you got to go to jail for it. I don't think. Yeah. And then that would, since incarceration is a generational cycle, she can't pass down what she don't have. Right. Wow. So I'm going after 3 groups: the primary, secondary, and everybody. Whoever wanted, black woman, come on. Yeah. And anybody else can help. Can participate, but we get targeted for the work. You know, after being targeted for that crack epidemic, I don't have a problem with saying I'm targeting black people. Yeah. Because somebody need to say that. Yeah. And then my hopes is that once I get the courage of saying I'm doing black lives started mattering. It wasn't mattering when I was. Yeah. So it's like. Well,
one would argue that they still don't matter. It's just a catchy marketing.
It's a trending. But while it's trending, let's get the way. We'll get on this trend. Yeah. Because they've been mattering to me since I was 4 years old. Right. So it's the time is God's timing. Yeah. So the time is it's right now. But people can stomach me better saying that I'm doing black people. Yeah. Because before the Black Lives Were Mattering and stuff.
Yeah, black was a bad word.
You couldn't do it. Yeah. You're not supposed to do that. And supposed to be talking about people of color and I'm
all people.
That's not it. No, we're not doing that right now. It's a black thing. It's a black problem. If somebody doesn't address it, and then I want to make it cool. We can go ahead and do it again. Because we used to do back in the day. They be pumping their fists up. Yeah. Like a moment's notice. It was nothing.
Yeah, my 2-year-old knows that.
Okay, so we got to bring that back. We got to bring it back because that's what happened with what was lost. Yeah. In between that crack epidemic, the pride. You know, the level of pride, and I'm going back. Nobody got help. Yeah. For the PTSD. For witnessing all that stuff and doing all that stuff, that immoral, crazy stuff. Yeah. Like nobody after it never really ended. Did you see anybody come try to, I mean, nothing happened.
Right.
So that's what I think when they start addressing it.
Yeah, and I think now you talked about PTSD. I look at our young people living in what they call urban environments now, or the high drug, high crime environments. They all have PTSD, don't know it. They all are in the epidemic, and you talked about a couple epidemics that are going on, not just the crack, the killing, the guns, the incarceration epidemic, the I call it the twerking epidemic, because you think that getting a fake butt and popping it and all that glamorization is
fake booty.
They really are. All of that is an epidemic. So stripping it back down and focusing on what's important and giving people who are in underprivileged situations, underprivileged. There we go, getting them terms. I know.
Quit placing me beneath somebody. God say I'm powerful.
There it is. You're very right. Just
that's
like,
a low way.
And labeling ourselves as minorities.
It's a placement they give you. Under.
Yeah.
I'm not claiming
minority.
That.
Yeah.
I'm
all
not.
of
Come
that.
on now. We
all
too many of us. I'm not doing it no more. We got to stop using their lingos on ourselves. Not from you, but I'm just saying.
No, that's true. All of us. Yeah. So let me just ask you this. First, let me say this. Thank you for writing this book. Thank you for the realness. I mean, you start out, even before you get into the first chapter, you start out just saying, look, I'm keeping it real. I'll change some people's names because I'm going to tell about me, but I'm going to tell this story and keep it real and raw. I'm not sugarcoating it. This is what I was. This is what I did. Thank you for keeping it real. A lot of people want to keep it REEL, Hollywood, fake. You're keeping it REAL, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you sharing, and I appreciate the candor and the compassion that you generated in me for just everyday people, not just those who have or are on crack, but just everyday people who, we all have a story. We all have a struggle, so thank you for that. Thank you for sharing this. Okay, let me get off that. Thank you. Where can people find more about the book? Can people buy the book?
The book's on Amazon.
Book is on Amazon. All right. And where can people get in touch with you or learn about Just Say No, KNOW?
Because B as in boy, C as in cat, UZ. Because black is the bit. BCUZBISB at gmail.com. Because black is still beautiful at gmail.com.
All right. So reach out, folks. Help with that. I'm going to put it on our Facebook, on our Twitter as well. I'll put links to the book.
Yeah, we're going to need tutorers. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to Just Say No. Okay? No.
Come on.
It's getting ready to be it's a different type of program, because it's what I call cultural competency. When you're competent, that's a C.
Yeah.
That's not good enough for an epidemic.
Right.
It's culturally affirming. Make me feel good to be black. Got to take it back to there. And what I want to do is we as the women, find the women. I don't know where they are, but they coming, because it's women, black women that won't help.
Yeah.
Nobody knocks, so I'm gonna come knocking with some different type of help. But I want to grow a cohort of black women from with areas in the hood that we can have studies and talk, and emotional support, because sometimes class can get a little irritating, and the statistics and stuff, and for the things that happen, like when somebody get killed, how you can continue. There's a lot of things that we have to go through as students. Regular people, not regular, I don't know what you want to call them, but a mass majority of people don't have to go through all that to try to graduate. Right. And that's one thing I went through, was all my neighbors was getting killed while I was going to school. Right, so it's like if I could have had somebody that also was going to school, but I think that God just stuck with me and helped me get it together so I could show somebody else, but I don't know how. With all those situations that I kept going to school. So it must have been meant for me to do, to just say no. I need to show somebody else that I can't tell you to keep going if I couldn't keep going. So it was like every adverse situation you could believe I lived through, living in them projects, going to school. And
leading to this now, this moment, this Just Say No, and helping some others. I mean, you've helped me just by writing this book, and I read it. It's happenstance. Somebody said, hey, you should check out Marilyn. Here's her phone number. And this book that she wrote. Okay. And just from that, people, you have no idea how sometimes just saying hello or a kind word, like you're a beautiful sister, like the guy with the bow tie said to you, or hey, just give this sister a call. She has a wonderful story. You never know how powerful just a small gesture can be. Very, very powerful. So thank you, y'all.
All right.
Stay tuned. More to come on the Just Chamia Show.
Okay, we did okay? Oh, I'm still on it.